I think that there's this idea out there that if you become the perfect woman, if you become the perfect man, if you embody this society's definition of what it means to be the ideal person or the perfect person, there's this idea out there that then you will be happy. Then everything in your life will be complete. You will feel fulfilled. You'll have all the friends in the world. Your life will be full of meaning. You'll go to bed with a huge smile on your face every night. Your heart will be bursting with love. That's not the case. That's not the case. So I want to talk today about letting go of perfection, more specifically in the fitness realm, letting go of the need to be so freaking perfect with your eating and so freaking perfect with your exercise. In an ideal world, we'd all have no problem sticking to our diets or our nutrition programs. We'd have no problem mustering up the motivation to get to the gym and hammer out amazing sessions every time that we step foot into the gym. But that's really not the case. Life happens. I always say life happens. What are you going to do about it? You have an unexpected work trip. You have something happens to your dog one morning, so you have to rush him to the vet right away, and then all your morning's plans get canceled. You don't have time to prep your food. You forget your meal at home. These things happen. This wrestle with perfection is the number one problem that people seem to struggle with. This is the number one problem that we run into is being so obsessed with the idea of being perfect that any kind of deviation, any kind of setback completely derails them. So they're either going full speed, they're either 100%, or they're not doing anything. They're self-sabotaging, they're at 0%, they're not getting anywhere, and in fact, they're probably backtracking. I have a lot of experience with this. Oh man, so many years I feel like I wasted. Although in hindsight, maybe it wasn't such a waste because now I'm that much better equipped to help everyone else. So many years I spent trying to eat clean, trying to be that perfect eater, trying to be that one girl who wakes up at 5:30 every morning to get to the gym by 6 a.m. and get in my workout and drink my gallon of water every day. Anything less than perfection in my eyes was not good enough. And if I wasn't perfect, then I was beating myself up. I really want to challenge you today to start the process of letting go of the need to be perfect. By the way, I do want to say that there's a difference between striving to be better every day versus striving for perfection and perfection only. I think we should all be striving to become better in some way, shape, or form all the time in whatever aspect of your life. Maybe you want to become a better writer or a better mother or a better friend or something. I love that. That's admirable. I think this negative self-talk, whenever you slip up or whenever you feel like you haven't performed well enough, I think that needs to stop because it doesn't get you anywhere, and being harder on yourself is not better. It's okay to have high standards. It's not okay to verbally abuse yourself or others when those expectations are not met. A lot of times, what I see happening a lot of times is that people become so afraid of messing up. Even the smallest screw up, they're so terrified of that. And when it happens, they get so discouraged that they either self-sabotage or they give up completely on their goal. Whether it be, a business goal, a career goal, entrepreneurship, maybe freaking dating even, but besides that, of course, the fat loss and the muscle gain and the body transformations, all those things are included, of course, as well. Here's the funny thing that I think a lot of us tend to overlook. We all have people that we look up to. We have people we look up to in different industries for different reasons, for different things. And we see all these successful people around us. Maybe we follow them on Instagram or their Facebook page or whatnot. And we think to ourselves, man, this person is so successful and he or she is doing so well. What are they doing that I'm not? And why is their life so good? And I think that what we don't realize is that they probably faced just as many obstacles as we did and as we do now. And And it's not that they had it easier than we did. It's not that they were just better at it's not always necessarily that they're just better at what they do. Every successful person out there today doing all the things that you want to be doing, they face just as many obstacles as you. They experience just as many failures, if not bigger. But the main difference here is that they didn't let those failures discourage them from continuing on with their goals. If anything, they took their failures, took their mistakes. They didn't beat themselves up. They don't say, oh, I'm a piece of crap. I'm not cut out for this. Screw this. It's hard. Instead, they said, okay, this didn't work. Why did it not work? Let's dissect this, what happened, and okay, what can I do differently moving forward to do better? Yeah, maybe it sounds cliche, maybe it sounds cheesy, but failure is a lesson. Failure is a lesson. So you can't think failure makes me a failure, okay? Experiencing a failure does not make you a failure. I think that anyone who is at the top of their industry today can tell you that it wasn't easy getting there, and they experienced many, many setbacks, but they just kept going. They brushed themselves off. They said, okay, this didn't work. Let's find something else that does work, and I'm going to keep going. If you are struggling with your fat loss goals, if you are struggling with the need to be perfect, if you find yourself getting discouraged because not everything is going the way that you planned, guess what? You're in the majority. There are millions of us. There's billions of us going through the same exact thing as you. We all face obstacles. We all feel a little bit down sometimes. It's okay to feel discouraged, but don't interpret a frustration as a sign that you need to give up, okay? One of the things that I had to learn when I was letting go of perfection was to learn to sit with the sensation of being uncomfortable, of being disappointed. Sometimes things happen, and sometimes we can't really do much about it, but learn to just sit with the sensation of discomfort, of vulnerability, of disappointment. You don't always have to react. You don't always have to go into repair mode or react mode. Sometimes it's maybe if you overindulge one day when it comes to going back to fitness. So going back to fat loss goals, for example, maybe if you accidentally find yourself overindulging one day, instead of beelining to your gym to run on the treadmill for 2 hours straight, maybe just sit and try something different for once. Just sit there and pay attention to how it feels. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to beat yourself up. Those things don't help at all. But you can sit there and say, wow, this feels really uncomfortable. I want to remember what this feels like. Why did I get to this point? Why did I clean out my entire pantry? What happened today at work that maybe upset me and caused me to overindulge? What can I do moving forward to prevent that? Can I maybe pack an extra snack in my purse so that I don't let myself become ravenous and crabby? Can I maybe have some foods already prepared in my fridge so that I don't catch myself off guard when I come home one day? There are always ways to use mistakes and turn them into opportunities to get better. I'm at a place now where I'm really comfortable with the way that I eat, and I'm really comfortable with my body. And it's not because I've reached that perfect body, and it's not because I found that perfect nutrition program. It's because I got sick and tired of being so upset all the time. And I got sick and tired of chasing perfection, especially when I realized that perfection really wasn't a real thing. It was just some fabrication in my mind. And over time, as I learned to sit with this sensation of not knowing everything and not having control over every single thing that happens and being okay with it, just go to bed. You don't have to fix everything. Once I did that, it became the norm for me. I practiced it one day and it was really uncomfortable. And then the next day I practiced it again and it was still uncomfortable. But then I kept doing it over and over and over again over multiple days. And then eventually it just became the norm for me. It became effortless. It became what I did by default without having to think about it. I don't have to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to use positive self-talk with myself today, because that had become the default mode for me. That had become the standard for me. It's almost backwards how this seems to happen. How could it be that once I let go of the need to be perfect all the time, that I actually make better progress toward my goals? Man, and I think the answer, I mean, dang, I don't even know if I know the definitive answer to that, but I think it has a lot to do with your perspective, changing your perspective, okay? Maybe don't call it a failure if that's a problem, if the connotations are too negative for you. Again, so failure is a lesson. Experiencing failure does not make you a failure. Failure is a lesson. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're dreaming of, whatever you're working toward, just keep going. Don't be discouraged. Don't give up.